Thank you, Mike, and good afternoon from the Pacific Northwest. We're in Portland, Oregon, where for the second straight year, NASCAR's Xfinity Series road racing at Portland International Raceway. Practice just wrapped up. It is time for qualifying on FS1. So good to have you with us on this busy NASCAR Saturday here on FS1 with Jamie McMurray, Trevor Bayne. I'm Adam Alexander. We saw the pictures there. The weather here is outstanding. A total departure over what we had a season ago when we raced in a driving rainstorm.
No doubt about it. Last year when these drivers came to Portland, it was the first time they had seen this place. This year it feels like they're there for the first time all over again. The track's totally different in the dry. This was a mess last year, Jamie. We got to hang out and call this race, and we had our hands full.
Yeah, lots of rain last year, lots of action on the track all day long.
It was a mess. It opened the door for an upset, but we didn't get one because the old road ringer, AJ Allmendinger, who had a host of problems, somehow, some way, came back and got the win. He's won 6 of the last 8 races when you talk about road courses in the Xfinity Series, but he's not racing today. So who does that open the door for?
Yeah, I like a couple of guys. The first one would be the one that has the most momentum, Justin Allgaier. Won at Charlotte on a fuel mileage last week, but had a really fast car, looked really good in practice. The other one, though, is probably not on anyone's radar, and it's Sammy Smith. He has been really good on road courses, finished 3rd last year at Watkins Glen. He was good in practice. I think he is someone that we're going to have to keep our eye on today.
You know, Sammy Smith, last year at Watkins Glen, in his 4th career start, finished 3rd behind Kyle Larson and the aforementioned AJ Allmendinger. He is a talented racer, won earlier this season at Phoenix. Now let's hear from our pit reporters, Jamie Howe and Josh Sims, holding down the fort. Let's start with Jamie.
Hey, Adam, you know, just a few moments ago, practice wrapped up, and these drivers were able to get a taste of the racetrack in dry conditions. Parker Kligerman, he led that session. It's his first time being here in Xfinity, but he came here in 2006 when he was still getting his teeth wet in open wheel racing, took all of that experience, translated into a really solid lap time. He said to his crew chief, Patrick Donahue, though, he's after some changes, I don't think that the car got a lot faster. He said, I remembered how to drive this place. He is ready for qualifying. Josh?
Well, you know, when we get these road course races, it means we get road course ringers in the field. And I'm keeping my eye on the 10 car with Jordan Taylor. And this is a guy that's won on so many different road courses in so many different series, 4-time IMSA champion, done a lot. But when it comes to NASCAR, this is brand new to him. He has 1 Cup start earlier this year at COTA. This is his first time in an Xfinity car. The one thing he said he can lean on is that experience in a Cup car, learning the field. He learns just how aggressive these NASCAR drivers are and how important track position is. He says he's going to have to be aggressive early, and it starts with qualifying. He said he needs that track position because he doesn't want to get caught up in the pack and have what happened to him at COTA happen here today, Adam.
You know, Josh, there's been a theme this year. 12 races, 3 first-time winners. Perhaps Jordan Taylor adds his name to the list. Cars on track when we return to Portland. We got 3 series hitting the track today when it comes to NASCAR on Fox. All the Cup cars practice qualifying St. Louis. Craftsman Truck Series coming up right now, qualifying for NASCAR's Xfinity Series in Portland. Here's the format when we go road racing and we qualify. First, let's look at practice from earlier today. And Parker Kligerman leads the way. We've said this is an opportunity race. He's someone you really have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he talked about, he thought Charlotte and the next 2 weeks here and at Sonoma would be the place that he could get a win. Started off practice great, lots of confidence, top of the board.
I've got to think Maya Snyder in 4th place after the year he had last year at this racetrack. Battled AJ Allmendinger for a win. Being in a Joe Gibbs racing car, this is a huge opportunity for him as well.
Myatt led 19 laps in this race last year in the rain, driving for Jordan Anderson, trying for his 2nd win. He hasn't been in a car since Daytona in the season opener. It's like an entire off-season for him. I mentioned the qualifying format. And we get 2 groups, 15 minutes each. Top 5 advance from each group, and those 10 cars get 10 minutes to go out and run for the pole. We were watching some of the pictures coming in from practice before we came on the air with qualifying. And just watching the way the drivers are attacking this place compared to last year, it really is remarkable what the weather has done to change the look of this racetrack. Jamie?
You're just talking about Myatt Snyder and all of the time that he's had outside of the car, getting ready for this weekend. All of the thoughts behind you now. What have you done to prepare for today?
Yeah, just a lot of film watching, a lot of sim time. Just, I've had a lot of time to prepare for this, obviously about 3 months. So, yeah, but honestly, the preparation trophy goes to these guys, because honestly, this car was very automatic. It was very easy to go fast in this thing. So we're going to make a few tiny adjustments to make it a little bit better, but our Treetop GR Supra is as fast as Xfinity 10G, so I feel really, really good about this weekend.
All right, see how it goes. Josh?
Here with Chandler Smith, he's in qualifying Group B. So what did you learn out there during practice and in general? How do you feel about your road course program overall?
Yeah, just sneaking up on the track. I've never been here before. Just trying to get acclimated to Xfinity cars on road courses in general. I'm used to a truck, completely different vehicle, completely different packages and stuff and whatnot that we ran there compared to what we run here and stuff. So just trying to get acclimated to everything, trying to keep all 4 wheels on the track, and give my team the best shot to keep this car clean to actually be in contention later today.
Thanks, Chandler. Good luck. Guys?
Maya Snyder talked about it there, having time to prepare for this race. A lot of our drivers were still in Charlotte on Monday.
Right.
He's been working on this for 3 months and focused on this track alone. Sometimes that's a big advantage, even though you're not turning laps in a car.
And you look at Joe Gibbs Racing and what they've done this year, 4 wins, 3 different drivers, including Ryan Truex, who got the first win of his career driving that 19 car across the board, 18, 19, 20. It doesn't matter which of those Toyotas you're talking about. They're all fast. As we look at the drivers in Group A, again, the top 5 move on and run for the pole.
You see Parker Kligerman right there was the fastest car in practice. We'll get a good idea of what the track's going to be like, how much your tire is going to help. Those guys only ran 11 to 14 laps. It's kind of what we saw guys run. They're going to put a brand new set of tires on right here and see how quickly they can go. This was pretty interesting, though, guys. This happened right at the end of practice. You see it looks like an oil line has come off Stephen Parsons' car, and he actually ends up spinning out in his own oil. So there's going to be a little bit of cleanup on the track of getting that ready, and you'll have to feel that out as you're coming to the green.
38 cars here this weekend, 38 start the race, so no one goes home.
Trevor, looking at that, I would not have went out right away. I would have we saw quite a few cars pull out. You see Sheldon Creed crawling around here a little bit slow. I would want to see kind of what that's like, because you assume NASCAR is going to do a great job cleaning all that up, but you don't know until you see a few cars go through there. So I would have personally wanted to wait a few laps to see kind of what the track had in it.
Well, especially when you have the option to do that. If there's speedy dry on the track for a restart, well, guess what? You've got to run through it like it or not. For qualifying, there's always that game of cat and mouse at a road course, trying to get your gaps right. When do you want to go out? I always like to see, even if there wasn't speedy dry on the track, how fast is the track? How much do I need to push the braking zones? And also, you just have to be in the top 5. So can I save a little bit for that second round and still make it through?
Well, we're showing the caution flag here, and so not sure. Well, originally the time was running, and now we've lost the clock and we're waving a caution. So we'll see what everybody elects to do as they come back off of turns 10, 11, and 12. Do they come back down the pit lane? And they are.
Yeah, the one thing that would allow those guys to do is, even though you're not at full speed, as you run through that, it would give you a chance to kind of swerve back and forth and just see, how much oil is down, what's it feel like, or if it feels okay.
Maybe Wayne Alton saw our shot here and said, oh, that speedy dry looks a little bit too much here for these guys.
Might need to hit it again, boys. It's so much less pressure in this type qualifying format versus when you have to pull out and you only get 1 lap, and if you make a mistake, there's you pay the consequences. The way this format is, I like this, where it kind of lets you be a little more calculated.
Bit of a delay to start qualifying, so we'll step aside, come right back to Portland after this. I am happy to report we are green at Portland, and just as I say that, the car gets away from Parker Retzlaff. Coming down to turn 10, and that is a high-speed portion of this road course.
And that will not be the first time we see that. We talked about this race was running the rain last year. These guys only got 20 minutes of practice in the dry today. You see Parker got in there just a little bit hot, got up out of the groove. could have blamed a little bit maybe on the oil on the track. We don't know that he didn't push it right to the limit. And
Sammy Smith.
When you have two around in the same exact spot where the speedy dry is, I would kind of think that might be a contributing factor there.
I'm with you, Trevor. I would say the track's probably a little slicker than those guys are anticipating. You know, the other thing I thought about is you see that line across the racetrack right here. That is the start-finish line for qualifying. That's where the times are going to be judged. And I'm like, maybe the guys are just pushing that corner. They don't care if they spin out trying to get a little bit better lap time.
And you saw the 18 drop his right side into the dirt, getting into the corner just like you talked about, trying to make it there quickly. That's the goal, make it there quickly, right, Adam?
There you go. That's it. And there you see that alternate start-finish line that Jamie was talking about.
Yeah, great job with that telestrator right there, Adam. That was a good line.
That was not me on the telestrator. I take no credit. Jeremy Clements won a road course race 6 years ago. One of his 2 career victories.
A little bit of right front lockup.
I love being able to hear the engine right there. You can hear the downshift you can hear the wheel hop as you're getting back to the throttle. We missed that last year because of the rain. We didn't get any of that. And this is a really fast section of the racetrack. It's considered a turn, but it's basically just a long curve. And this is heading in to that last little complex of corners where we've seen so many guys go off. And I'm going to say that's still slick, guys. Like just seeing how many guys are going through there with the car getting out from underneath it.
Jeremy Clements to the top with 9 minutes to go in qualifying. Again, this is Group A. Top 5 move on to the second round. 10 total vehicles run for the pole. Group A and Group B each getting 15 minutes.
Jeremy Clements is one of only 2 drivers in this full field that have a win on a road course in Xfinity. Pretty incredible to think about. We have 38 drivers here, only 2 have been the victory lane.
And the interesting part about his lap right there is he kind of got like the banker lap in, right? He ran a 1:16 flat right there. That's about a half second slower, though, than he just ran in practice. So we know there's a little bit more lap time left out on the track.
I just mentioned one of 2 drivers. Here's the other driver that has an Xfinity win on a road course. So now you've seen all of them.
3 wins for Allgaier on the road in his career. 2 coming, driving that 7 car for Junior Motorsports. 20 career victories for Allgaier after getting it done Monday evening at Charlotte Motor Speedway. His first win of the season. First time he had done it in NASCAR's backyard.
Talked to Justin just a little bit this week after the Charlotte win, and he said, man, our group needed this. I mean, not just the 17, but all of Junior Motorsports this year. I would have to think it's a little bit of a head scratcher for their group, only having 1 win this deep into the season. But once you get the ball rolling, the momentum moving, it turns up the pressure on the 8 car of Josh Berry, the 9 car, the 1 of Sam Mayer. Everybody in this group now knows these cars are capable of winning, and it turns it upside down.
Allgaier jumps to the top as we rewind to what happened 5 nights ago. Quite the battle in that final stage between Allgaier and Nemechek. They were racing each other. They were racing the fuel gauge.
Man, it was fun to watch.
It really was entertaining.
It was so stressful, and I think, I mean, a fuel mileage race can go 1 of 2 ways, and that was really exciting to be able to watch. And I think everybody was happy for not only Justin, but also Jim Pullman getting his first win as an Xfinity Series crew chief.
Let's go down to Jamie.
For Justin Allgaier, the last 3 races have really been a turnaround for them. They finished 3rd, then 2nd, and then getting that win in Charlotte. He said his goal for this weekend on this road course is just to keep that #1 streak going. Can't get any better than that, but he's already there. But for Sam Mayer, he was supposed to be out on the racetrack right now in this Group A qualifying session. You're not. You had the same incident in turn 10 that we just saw Parker in the number 31 have. Now that you know you're starting in the back, how does that change your focus to get ready for the race?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad I'm not the only one making that silly mistake. But, I mean, I know our car is as fast as Xfinity 10G Internet. I'm not really worried about starting in the back. I think we can get up to the front pretty quick by the end of stage 2, maybe. But as far as our guys, like, they're working really hard right behind me, trying to get this thing back going. I mean, obviously, I want to be out there putting down a good qualifying lap. But I know that starting in the back isn't going to hurt us because we fight adversity all the time. We'll be all right.
Thank you.
You know, it's an interesting race for him coming from the back. As you talk about trying to gather up stage points and how important that is, he comes in only 20 points above the cut line. So he's got a whole lot to manage here today. And what, as we said, is an opportunity race for so many different drivers. Sheldon Creed, while they were visiting, went to the top. He is now quickest in front of Allgaier as we check in on the man who was 6th here a year ago, Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, and you saw the front end actually like being carried is what you would call it through those turns. That car's generating grip. They've got the suspension really soft on it. This is one of those tracks that you work so hard trying to get the forward drive to be able to accelerate off the corners, you know, better than the next car. You see, oh, he got just a little bit wide there.
He made it past the line, though.
Yeah, right? And honestly, overall, it's a really good lap. I was shocked that we saw Justin Allgaier run 2 laps. We see Sheldon Creed, Daniel Hemrick, Jordan Taylor. They only run 1 lap right there, trying to save those tires. I think they've run a good enough lap that they're going to make it into this next round.
You know, between 11 and 12, got to imagine you're braking a little bit to make it through 12. So that might be a good strategy. Just send it a little bit off of 12, get past that start-finish line without braking.
Yeah, 100%. I think we will see somebody do that. This was the fastest guy in practice. We'll see what he's able to put together right here. It looks like it's still a little bit slick right there where the oil has been laid down. See, he gets a really good drive off, and you want to get off that corner well because it leads down this long straightaway, and there's so much lap time to be made up. Obviously, our tracker is just a little bit off today, or he's
really bad.
Got a really good lap going.
He's going to lap the field later today in the race.
Before this lap's over, he's already won.
6th on lap 1 for Parker Kligerman. Got that yellow line in, showing who right now is in a position to advance to the 2nd round out of Group A, as we've gone inside of 5 minutes to go in this session.
Yeah, and he's hoping right now that he does not catch the car in front of him. He's tried to, you know, get in a place on the racetrack that he's got a gap, and he's got this, you know, great lap going. And look at that again. Look at how much it's carrying the front end right there on the exit of that corner. To me, for qualifying, that's not the preferred setup you want, but later in a race, that is what you're going to want, trying to get the power down to the back. Look at that car carry. Just soft rear springs, small sway bar, if not, you know, no rear sway bar on the car.
Jordan Taylor just jumped up the 3rd there, and I've got to imagine all day as he gets laps, he's just going to get faster and faster. First time in an Xfinity car. Oh, Parker Kligerman off.
All the cones are gone now down there in turn 11. Kligerman down to 8. After not only Taylor jumped up inside the top 5, Alex LeBay is there. Cole Custer now is P1 as we go back and check out what happened to Kligerman.
So I think that's planned, but his time did not pop up, and that makes me wonder, is it not registering that far out on the racetrack?
That's
you know,
point.
like is the timing line, does the loop not go that far out?
It might be planned, Jamie, but sometimes when you're fastest in practice like Parker Kligerman, you go to qualify, you try to get that little bit more, and you start making mistakes or slow down. You know as good as anybody on road courses that you can only do so much, and over-trying does not always equal speed.
Yeah, the thing that for Kligerman, though, I mean, he's over a second off what he ran in practice.
This is Cole Custer, who missed turn 1. This is down in the chicane, and so I would assume, I mean, was this on his 2nd lap? Did that first lap was good, or is that lap going to be disallowed? I'm not sure what the situation is going to be for him here, because right now he is being shown as leading Group A round 1 qualifying.
Yeah, you almost wonder if maybe they didn't call him off. You know, he runs this great lap and he goes on the front stretch and they call him off. I'm not sure why you would just go straight through the chicane unless he's trying, maybe there's someone behind him and he was just trying to stay out of their way.
Yep. Well, as of now, top 5 and in a position to advance. Custer, Creed, Allgaier, Jordan Taylor, Alex LeBay. And the red flag is out because we got cones everywhere down in turn 11.
I think we can get rid of the cones. What do you guys think? Put them out. I think that we can pick those up and not put them back out.
It would appear to me they're not going to stay there very long if you put them back anyway.
This might be a story in the race if they keep putting them out there.
And that makes me wonder if Cole Custer wasn't just trying to wait on the front stretch for this to get cleaned up and then roll from there, but going to bring it to pit road now, obviously.
I don't know, as I sit and look at this, guys, I like the escape route they've got there. If they do want to try to post a little faster lap, I like the fact that it's paved, that you can just go to the outside.
Well, it's a great game plan as you're coming back to that alternate start-finish line for sure.
And we talked about Parker Retzloff spinning out there, and I would have to imagine that's him just trying to carry that speed across it.
9 has not made a lap. What's the story there, Jamie?
Now you'll see on that scoring pylon that he was supposed to be out in this Group A session. He had an incident during practice. You can see that scuff mark right on the nose of the car on that left side because of that, they had to bring the car back to the garage. They had to replace that side of the splitter. So can't do that work on pit lane. And between the sessions, had to bring it back. Because of that, will not be making a lap in qualifying. He'll be back at the back with Sam Mayer.
It's been such a hard year for Brandon Jones this year. He made that move over from Gibbs, and you know, Junior Motorsports with the 15 wins last year, they had to think that this is just a home run decision, and obviously Junior Motorsports has been a little bit off this year from where they were last season. But it's just, man, I remember we did a sit down with him on the pre-race show a few weeks back, and it was like they were just, it seemed like their season was starting to turn around, but they just can't catch a break.
The timing of this sport can be cruel sometimes. You're always trying to guess who's going to be the next team, and it's so cyclical. You have RCR at times. Who would have thought that Austin Hill would jump to the top, and now JRM struggling, as you just mentioned.
Well, they finally were able to get in the win column last week, and you see that reflected here as we compare last year through 12 races as far as what they've done so far this year. And really, you know, if you looked at this a month ago, even though they hadn't won, the numbers weren't all that different. And then it was the month of May last year where they really started piling up wins that made 2022 versus 2023 look so much worse than what we've seen. But as you look at it here, they're starting to put the pieces together, and that win last week was big, I think, for the confidence of the entire organization.
That was huge, and my wife and I joke around. I raced against those cars last year and finished second to them a few times. My timing wasn't great on that one. It's like, man, why couldn't I race against them this year where they're a little bit off? But as you mentioned, Adam, talking with Justin Allgaier, that win, I think, means as much as any win that he's ever had because of that shift in momentum and the need to start building on that. This is a time of year you've got to be getting ready for those playoffs and know what you've got to have going into those last races.
You know, as we sit there and look at Sam Mayer, if I'm in his seat right now, I'm glad we're racing today, because I don't want to go home and think about this all night long. I want the race to start, and I want to get going. I don't think starting in the back is the end of his race, but I wouldn't want to hold on to think about it.
He crashed early in this race last year, and I remember the interview. He just said, I want to go home. I'm just ready to go home. And so, as you said, problems early today, but the good news is he does get a chance to race. So the cones are back, and they elected to replace them, and this is where it all started. Parker Retzloff, he got 3 or 4 there.
He got the easy ones.
Is he going to finish the strike?
Oh, Sammy's swinging a miss. Yeah.
Parker Kligerman finishes the deal.
They're going to start a bowling team after this weekend.
Who knew that would be the highlight of qualifying?
They look abused. These cones are tired.
We did get confirmation that the Cole Custer lap is good. So everything that we saw happening in the chicane was after he had completed his official qualifying lap. So he appears to be in a really good spot as far as advancing here. Creed, Allgaier, Taylor, and LeBay, the other drivers inside the top 5.
If you're LeBay right now, you're waiting on pit road to wonder if you're going to have to run again, right? And that's a tough thing. You don't want to be sitting on pit road when somebody jumps in front of you and not even be giving it a shot to make it to that next round.
Track is open again. As you can see, we got 2.5 minutes to go in the session, and you just have to start your lap. You don't have to finish it. Josh?
Down here with Jordan Taylor, 4th on the board in the first qualifying session. So what did you learn out there so far?
A lot. I mean, I thought we had a 30-minute practice, but it was only 20 minutes. So I think just getting seat time, the car is so different from what I'm used to, obviously, and different from the Cup car that I drove at COTA. So understanding the braking capabilities, the grip levels, where you can attack, where you can. First time at Portland, so learning the track a little bit. So it's been hectic, you know, to go straight into qualifying like that. So hopefully we transfer through and make it to the next session. I think I'll just keep learning with the more laps I get. So the call guy has done a great job, obviously, bringing a fast car. So hopefully I can just keep it up front.
Now, we talked about it earlier, but what can you draw from the Cup race earlier this year at COTA, just about the nature of racing in NASCAR?
Yeah, I think the driving style isn't very similar. The cars are quite different. I think the racecraft is the big thing, and just understanding how aggressive everyone's going to be. The Cup race was obviously pretty chaotic. I think these cars are a little bit more fragile. The Cup car can take a big hit and keep going. So hopefully the hits are a little bit softer here and a little cleaner. But yeah, hopefully we can qualify up front, stay up there, and stay out of that trouble.
Things off to a good start for Jordan Taylor, guys.
I can't imagine try. I mean, what he's doing is so hard to come in, get in a car in a series that you've never been a part of, get 20 minutes of practice. You know, I went and ran sports cars a few times, and it's simple things just like pit road rules or restart rules that you take for granted when you race in the series every single weekend. And for him to come in and do that, that is a big challenge he has ahead of him. But he's an incredible race car driver. I've watched him for years, and he has just been so good in those Corvettes over the years. So I look forward to kind of seeing his racecraft. And he was frustrated, I know, at COTA because they kind of roughed him up a little bit. I bet we see him a little more aggressive today.
I was going to say, he learned quickly how aggressive these drivers are, and he didn't say if I get hit today, it was just how hard am I going to
He said win. Yeah.
Win, and how hard is it still going to keep going. So I think that's the hardest transition for a lot of road course ringers when they come to NASCAR, to match the intensity level on a green-white checker. When you have someone that's going to move you out of the way, put you 4 wide, and it's not a lack of respect, it's just the racing style of these drivers on a road course, and you have to match that. That's why A.J. Allmendinger has been so successful. I think he has the talent of all the road course ringers, but matches the intensity of these Xfinity and Cup drivers.
Taylor now on the bubble after that lap by Daniel Hemrick put him at the top.
And I believe Hemrick, he went back out and ran again. So those tires had a cycle on them. And that's pretty impressive. A 1:14.54 he just ran. Really quick lap. So that's encouraging to me for some of these guys like Justin Allgaier, who ran a couple of more laps than Cole Custer did, that maybe that's not going to be as big a detriment to him in this next round.
Group A qualifying is complete. Daniel Hemrick leads the way as he went back on track after the red flag, goes to the top. Custer, Creed, Allgaier, Taylor, the others that will advance and run for the pole. Some surprising names that did not. Kligerman, LeBay, Sammy Smith, unable to move on. Group B qualifying from Portland when we come back. Tonight, baseball night in America on Fox, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. Aaron Judge and the Yankees get Mookie Betts of the Dodgers, or you might get the Guardians and the Twins. Check local listings for the game in your area. Catch the action 7 Eastern on Fox. We look forward to it tonight. You can also watch it on the Fox Sports app. Big day of NASCAR on FS1. Cup practice and qualifying earlier. Right now, Xfinity qualifying. Craftsman Truck Series coming up. Xfinity race later today from Portland. Group A qualifying is done. Round 1. 5 drivers highlighted. Those advancing to run for the pole.
Yeah, impressive to see Daniel Hemrick go back out and be able to run that lap. Bumped out Parker Kligerman, who won practice, and you talked about it, Trevor. Maybe trying just to get just a little bit too much right there, but he's going to be a threat later today.
And that was quite a big pickup to not make major changes to these cars between practice and qualifying. With this format, Daniel Hemrick was 7/10 faster than what Parker Kligerman was in practice.
And I would think most of that just comes from track time. You know, we talked about it. You just very limited amount of time on the track in the dry, limited track time earlier today, and being able to come in and digest all that and go back out makes such a big difference.
Let's go to Jamie.
Well, because of that limited track time that you guys are talking about, Cole Custer decided to do the ARCA race here last night. You ended up finishing second in that race, but what were the biggest things that translated to this Xfinity qualifying?
Really just learn the track. I mean, there's some really awkward corners, how they're shaped around here and how the flow of the track is. So it definitely helped out a lot trying to get some laps there with the High Point Racing guys. And but I think like our Haas Automation Ford Mustang is pretty solid. I think we got a good car. It does about everything I want it to. There's just a lot of grip in the track with these with the Goodyear tires. So I think it's going to be a really close field. I think everybody's going to be really tight. But I feel like we have a good car and hopefully be there at the end.
With this qualifying format, you're going to get another chance to go out there to set your starting position. What did you learn in that Group A session that's going to help you out?
With the speedy dry down, I was a little bit too conservative in turn 12, I think. So I think I gave up a little bit there and could gain a little bit. So I think we'll be right there. I think it's going to be really close, though.
It's going to be exciting for sure. Adam?
I feel like we should show Cole the highlight reel of how many people were not conservative in the 10, 11, 12.
Actually,
turns.
he might not want to see that.
By his P2 right now.
That's right.
I think he did a great job.
It creates some anxiety he doesn't need. First driver we look at in Group B, John Hunter Nemechek. tours this year and comes in leading the regular season points.
We watched Justin Allgaier come out on the good end last weekend of a fuel-saving race, but I went and asked his guys at JGR, I went and asked John Hunter's guys this week, hey, did you have enough fuel after the race that he could have run down Justin Allgaier and battled him for that win? There's an 8-second gap there, and they said there's no way. If he had pushed and tried to get to Justin's rear bumper to pass him, we would have run out of fuel. Probably both of them would have run out of fuel, honestly, in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, they played like a little cat and mouse game. Each of them wanted to try to get to the lead, but you could tell the last few laps, they knew that they were quite a bit short. He slowed down a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap, those last few, just trying to make it to the end. Ooh, you see he got in just a little bit deep right there. Looked like he might have locked up the rear brakes. Still was able to make the corner.
We were talking earlier about drivers in the field that have won a road course race in the Xfinity Series, only 2 of them, Allgaier, Jeremy Clements, but there were a handful that have road course wins in the Craftsman Truck Series. John Hunter, even checked on that list, got it done in Canada a number of years ago.
Cole Custer remembers that.
I think Cole Custer will remember that race, if I remember correctly.
You still remember it?
I do, yeah. That was that whole karate chop at the end, running down the racetrack that was some of the best TV we've seen in a while.
I thought Cole Custer that day was like a decathlete because he hurled the wall, he sprinted out to Nemechek, and then he tackled him, he wrestled him, and we had a little bit of everything that day from Custer.
John Hunter Nemechek had to get through some traffic right there. It looked like they got out of his way, but man, that messes up your rhythm. He did a really good job, though, Trevor, through turns 10, 11, and still used a lot of racetrack, but didn't run off or take the cones out.
This is what we're talking about from Canada. Nemechek in the 8-0-0 is Custer. This is the final lap.
And you know, that track notoriously, we had so many finishes just like that. And it's hard to take a side on that because they're both racing for the win, and you can see it.
I didn't even know if the finish was going to register in the ground.
Demolition Derby.
This is not what I was talking about.
I know.
I didn't really care what happened inside the trucks. It was this is what I remember. Oh my God. It's so good.
There it is.
Oh.
John Hunter just thought he finished it at the start-finish line.
Oh, we love you for that
delay.
moment.
There's going to be a delay. Wait for it. Wait for it. That's awesome.
I love it.
Maya Snyder with a really good first lap within a couple tenths of our fastest lap. Group A probably will go back out and pick up if he has to. Maybe you just sit there and wait now, save those tires and temperatures, get them down for the next round.
Jamie and I aren't looking at timing and scoring. We're just watching the wrestling match, and Trevor gives us a nice reset. Hey, by the way, we are in Group B qualifying, and the quickest right now is Maya Steiner. Nemechek, his teammates up there in third. Herbst in between in the 98. Hey, we're talking about the Toyotas from Joe Gibbs Racing, and you got Snyder and Nemechek up there. Connor Mozak, the driver to watch today. He was actually driving for Gibbs in this race last year, made his series debut. Great road racer, and I would anticipate, especially when you look how good those Sam Hunt cars have been lately, he's someone we'll be talking about today.
There's no doubt about it, and he took a different approach to get to this point. We talked about it a little bit last year when he was running well. Went and raced Trans Am cars to make it to NASCAR. Not many people go road racing first. Send it up there to P2. Man, how many drivers are going to just blow turn 12 when we get to the race and forget they got to finish the lap to the start-finish line?
And you could hear the rear tires like skidding, chirping all the way from like turn 11 all the way through turn 12. But that's what you got to do if you want to set a good lap here.
This place was entertaining in the wet, but the dry makes it a whole lot more fun. Get after it.
Welcome back here to Portland in the middle of qualifying for the Xfinity Series in Group B, the fastest on the board in Group A. That was Daniel Hemrick just talking with your teammate Jordan Taylor a second ago, but you said it's a work in progress. I know you're fast, but how do you feel about what you can do now in the second round?
Yeah, work in progress for sure. I feel like that's about a 80 to 85% put together lap. Try not to get greedy with it. Where the start-finish line, timing line over there is it's very tempting to try to get too much there. Honestly, I got too much into my first lap, the first run out. So, yeah, hopefully a little swig of the fruit punch in the old Circle bottle here. We can get the Circle Chevrolet, keep it as fast as Xfinity 10G Internet. But proud of everyone at Colleague Racing. It's been a compared myself to AJ, it's been tough working with me on the road course side, but I love this stuff. I'm very comfortable road course racing. It's been fun to have Jordan and Chandler to kind of lean on here, and yeah, hopefully we can at least have an opportunity to go do what AJ does when he comes and runs these things.
Thanks, Daniel, and good luck, guys.
I'm wondering, is it good news or bad news for Colleague Racing that AJ's not here? I mean, if you're Matt Colleague, it's bad because you know he's probably the guy that's going to win the race. If you're his teammate, you want to lean on him, but you don't want to have to beat him, you know, the plus minus. And here's the other Colleague car, Chandler Smith in the 16.
Think of the two guys he mentioned, though, Jordan Taylor and AJ Allmendinger. I mean, as accomplished a road racers as you can get. So he's got some great guys to lean on, to ask questions about of what they're feeling. And as a driver, you know, Trevor, you just want to verify that they're thinking the same thing you are. Ooh, did you see how dirty that was right there from where someone prior had run through there in the dirt? That'll make those challenging corners.
Really good lap for Chandler Smith all the way to the top.
He's been so impressive this year to only have 15 Xfinity starts. Almost won that race earlier in the season at Las Vegas. Lost it at the very end, but then goes and redeems himself at Richmond, wins that battle on a green-white checkered. I've just been blown away by his talent this season and what he's been able to do in this 16 car. We know if you're in a Colleague car at a road course, you're going to be fast, but it still takes ability to go up there and be P1 right now.
Yeah, and the maturity of the interviews afterwards, right? I mean, at Vegas, it would have been easy to get frustrated there. But then he had one of the best post-race interviews at Richmond that I can remember with I believe he thanked his smoking hot wife, Adam. That's exactly how that came out.
As you always did.
Always, Christy. As I'm watching here, though, I'm surprised that he ran hard through turns 1 through 4, and it looks like he's still going. Got the fastest lap time. You just would assume he's safe to make it through. I would want to save those tires and not wear those out for the extra lap.
By the way, he's fastest. We don't go out to the 1,000th of a second on our pylon. By 1,000th of a second, he is quicker than Myatt Snyder. It is, in fact,
Look at that
tight
top three.
at
Wow.
the top. Yeah. More qualifying when we come back. 4 minutes to go for Group B.
Saturday, it's baseball night in America on Fox. It doesn't get bigger than this. The Yankees and the Dodgers, New York and LA, two icons, two Goliaths, two heavyweights collide in an East versus West battle, featuring some of the game's biggest stars.
Aaron Judge, monster shot, Mookie has done it again!
It's Baseball Night in America, tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Less than a minute to go. Group B qualifying, opening round for the Xfinity Series here in Portland. And we've got some drama. Myatt Snyder on the bubble. We're riding with Riley Herbst, who right now is tracking the jump above the cut line and putting Snyder on the outside looking in.
When we went to commercial, we saw Chandler Smith jump up at an 85 to the top of the board, and we wondered why would he run a second lap. Now we know he'd be on the bubble right now in this moment. If he hadn't run that 47, we'd put him at the top of the board.
Yeah, it's a good decision to stay out there and do one extra lap right there.
Nemechek was below the line when we went away at 6th. He goes back out, gets to 3rd. Josh Berry was not going to advance. He hits the track again, gets down to the 114 second bracket, runs an 85. He appears to be in a position now to move on, and the flags are out. You just have to finish your lap, or start your lap. You don't have to finish it, but I'm guessing they're going to call off Myatt here, and he went back out as a safety run, right? But he's in as of now.
There are some drivers out there trying to finish, but it sounds like they're coming across the line now, so his spotters will call him off.
Yeah, I saw that Riley Herbst stayed out to run an extra lap. He should be coming through here just any time. And Myatt's just waiting for the radio to be keyed to say, we're all good, bud. Come on in.
That last lap for Herbst, 15:05.9. So needs to pick up the pace a little more if he's going to jump up there. And here he is coming back down to that alternate start-finish line, and we'll see.
Cone or no cone, what do you guys think?
Takes.
Oh, he's going for it.
Definitely dirt. The bad thing for Myatt is he had to run the full lap to find out if Riley Herbst was going to make it.
Austin Hill, who was outside the top 5 in the early portion of the qualifying session, ends up 2nd behind Chandler Smith. John Hunter Nemechek was 3rd. Berry 4th, Snyder 5th. Those are the 5 drivers that will move on and run for the pole.
And you know, the biggest downside for Myatt Snyder is that his tires are hot now. We're not going to have a lot of time before these guys get to go back out. And we were discussing under commercial that we thought maybe that first group had a little advantage because their tires, you know, would have more time to cool down. They'll obviously make more grip that way. Myatt was in a pretty good position, but by having to go back out, you know, tires will just be really hot right here.
I've got to think if you're Matt Collig and Chris Rice, you're thankful that you got these 2 drivers in. If A.J. Allmendinger can't be here, hey, you're still at the top of the board in both sessions.
I was going to say that. No A.J. Allmendinger, no problem. All 3 Collig cars move on. A couple of cars from Joe Gibbs Racing, and both RCR cars moving on as well. Round 2 qualifying when we roll on from Portland. Just about ready for final round qualifying. NASCAR Xfinity Series at Portland International Raceway. Here are the 10 drivers trying to get it done.
Looking at Austin Hill there, he was really fast last year, was P2 in Group B. Looking to see if he can beat one of these Collig cars to jump up to the top of the board.
I'm going Group A. I like the fact that their tires have been able to cool down a little bit longer. I think that's a little advantage. And I'm looking at Cole Custer and Sheldon Creed because I know they only had to run 1 lap in order to produce that lap time.
Just the fact that we're here and we're ready to race is pretty amazing.
Not raining.
Well, not only that, but think about the week for the Xfinity Series. You race on Monday night. You got to drive all the way across the country. And a special congratulations, attaboy, whatever you want to say, for Alpha Prime Racing and Tommy Joe Martins. What a week for them, Josh.
That was a dually.
Yeah, I know. Josh, what's the story here?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Adam, it was a nightmare week for Alpha Prime Racing. They got 4 cars, basically, they got to get out here. Their 3 primary cars and a backup in the 2 haulers you see behind me. And they leave after the race that went late Monday night to get out here, and they had 2 trucks and a hauler break down on the way here. They were scrambling all week long, getting people to help them out, get the haulers, getting replacement trucks just to get out here. The last one that broke down was 200 miles from Portland, and they had to get NASCAR to help them out to get this hauler behind me to the track last night. Now, thankfully, due to a lot of help from a lot of different people, they were able to get here last night after the ARCA race, go through tech, and be ready for today. But as you can imagine, a lot of scrambling, a lot of help from a lot of different people all week long, and it's especially tough on these smaller teams. So the team told me to make sure to have a big thank you out to all those hauler drivers out there, because they could not do this and get out here for this race this week without them. And by the way, remember, after all of this, they have to get out to Sonoma after this, and they're not going to get some of those trucks fixed in time, so it's going to take more help just to get down to Sonoma, Jamie.
Well, the final round of qualifying about to begin. Riley Herbst, we saw in that Group B, finishing 7th, not going back out there, but your time would have been good enough for 3rd in Group A. That's just the luck of the draw. What do you now know that you need for the race?
I don't know. Just hopefully a clean race and be able to complete all the laps. It's kind of been a very up and down year for us on this Monster Energy team. So hopefully we can get this season point back in the right direction and just get 2 solid finishes here before the week off break. But I think we'll have a pretty good car. I mean, I think our teammate's really fast, so he'll have a shot at the pole, and we're pretty similar cars. So I'll go back to the hauler, do some homework, and hopefully get ready for the race and drive to the front.
We saw that teammate Cole Custer fire off. Qualifying's about to go, guys.
Clock has started. In fact, we're almost 90 seconds into this 10-minute window to go out and make a qualifying run for the pole. Riley Herbst, the driver that needs something good to happen today. Didn't work for him here at Portland a season ago. Maybe this afternoon they get back on track. There's that 0-0.
So, you know, we were sitting here trying to figure out, are they going to wait to go out? We've seen that a lot, the dreaded waiting game, wanting to be the last car on the track. But I like Cole going out right now, and the reason I say that is that he got to be in the first round. We mentioned his tires have been able to cool down. But the other thing is he's going to have a clean track. And I don't necessarily mean cars. I mean debris on the racetrack, because I think guys are going to get a little edgy right here into this last turn 11, 12. Knowing where that timing line is right here. You see the track's already pretty dirty. If you get somebody to go through there and throw a bunch of dirt on the track, that can really hurt all those other guys' laps. So I like the fact he pulled out and is going to get it done early.
Once he completes this lap, he might like it or he might have to run 2. But if he likes it, he can come in and pull down again. And if he needs to go out, if somebody bumps him off the top of the board,
take another stab at it.
Tires are cool for the end. I always like the road courses because there's so much error that can happen in your lap. I like to run the
foot cam too. We're going to be able to look at this all race long. You can see, I'm always amazed how far that brake pedal looks like it moves. It doesn't feel like that inside the car. But also as you watch his throttle, you see he's just kind of modulating that so he can do the shifting. And when you see him matted, it's because he knows that the rear tires are going to hook up right at that point. It's going to be fun to watch them try to modulate that. You see him have to use the throttle when he's going to do an upshift or a downshift, just trying to synchronize the transmission.
And you see a little double tap on that brake pedal. Sometimes it's nice.
A little security.
He's going to be there. And used to, you have Marcus Ambrose and even AJ early on, but use that clutch and do some heel toe. You don't see that as much these days. People have figured out how to synchronize that with the throttle, blip for the downshift, and so it's more just a dance with two pedals these days.
Oh, and you can hear the rear tires sliding right there as they are going to overdrive that entry to 11, knowing that they don't have to make turn 12.
That's the fastest time we've seen all day right there at 34.
Yeah, he went 74 in his opening round run, so he picked up.
He said he had
pace.
a little in the
Yep.
tank.
Yep.
Yeah, he did a good job being able to pull back out and capitalize on that.
Down to 6 minutes to go. Austin Hill advancing from Group B, just over 15 there, 1:15.
He's not going to be happy with that lap, I don't think.
No, it's about 4/10 slower than he ran earlier in qualifying. And knowing that Cole Custer picked up, we know the track's probably got the grip in it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to rerun right here. But it's going to be hard. Those tires are still going to be so hot.
Austin Hill, 3 wins this year. Pretty good road racer, too. Got a Truck Series win a few years ago at Watkins Glen. As we pick up the man he's chasing in the overall points battle this season, John Hunter Nemechek, driving that 20 for Joe Gibbs.
This whole section of the racetrack, it's not wide open and it's not heavy braking. It's just you're modulating the brake and the gas, just maneuvering around. And it seems like it's such a big risk versus reward of how much you're going to slide out. You don't want to slide over the edge of the racetrack. Right here as they're coming onto that backstretch, we mentioned how important that is because this is where a lot of time can be made up. Just because if you carry speed out of that corner, you get to have it all the way down the straightaway.
We've seen it this year with this group that their cars haven't always had the best short run speed, but on the long run they seem to come to life, and that's what I look at for Joe Gibbs Racing at a road course. For them to hold on to that forward drive, goes to P2 there for John Hunter Nemechek, a little bit off of his first round qualifying time, but I think that car will get better as they go on, keep that forward drive, the brakes will stay good, and he'll be a contender by the end of the day.
Allgaier goes to 3rd, last week's winner.
And I just don't like as I hear the back sliding when you're inside the car and the car's sliding like that, you can't give it any gas, and so you're just not able to make lap time up that way. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to produce a good lap, because to me, coming to the green, he was a little bit off right there just listening to that.
And you're trying to make it to that alternate start-finish line, so you're not really thinking about setting up turn 12 for the next lap. So if you miss it and they come over the radio and say, hey, keep running, that's not what you want to have happen.
I guess if you know you've missed it somewhere on your opening lap, you change your thought process and say, I'm starting my second lap, which is going to be my money lap, but that's got to be a hard adjustment to make midstream.
I've done that before, Adam, at Watkins Glen at the bus stop. I thought, I killed the S's. I messed up the entry to the bus stop, and I shut it down, right? I was like, all right, I'm going to have to come in, cool off, run another one. And I came in, and they said, you were 3/10 to the good. What are you doing? And it's so hard to know if you should call off a lap and throw it away. And you're probably giving up 1 or 2 tenths if you don't run it off in turn 11 to 12. So I think you got to run it hard no matter what.
Goes from
oh, not that hard.
He did pick up some time,
It's
though.
so close. He's going to be okay, though. If you understand, is this going to bring a local caution out? It looks like he's going to be able to get going. Ugh. But he's just pushing it right here. Watch, he's going to give it a little throttle here, just trying to throttle up just to get to that line. Now trying to slow it down, and you can see the smoke. That's because that inside tire doesn't have enough weight on it. I'll tell you what, I thought that was going to be way worse than it was.
Only 4 cars have put a lap up, and we're down to 3 minutes to go in our final round. Now, as I've said, but it bears repeating, you just have to start your lap. You don't have to finish it. Check in on Daniel Hemmer, driving the 11 for Colleague. We said it, all 3 of their cars advanced. None have put up a lap here in this second and final round.
Yeah, and we're going to find out if time on the tires hurts your lap time, because Hemrick had to go out and rerun in that first round, and so he had an extra lap on his tires, and you see right there was not able to put the whole lap together.
He's 4th of 5. Josh Berry, one of the 2 cars from Junior Motorsports to make it into the final round of qualifying. Teammate Justin Allgaier 3rd right now.
I understand why all these cars waited, temperature in the tires, but as a driver qualifying, I already get enough nerves going. I hate being up against the clock of knowing you only get 1 lap. If you screw up anything, it just turns up that pressure a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's both ways. Here's another car that we've got to watch. So he only ran 1 lap in the first round of practice. His tires have cooled down, and he was quick, and we felt like even in practice, what we got to see earlier today, that Sheldon Creed was going to be one of the cars to beat. Now, did not run the lap time that he wanted to. He's going to opt to try to run a 2nd lap right here.
Jordan Taylor is 8th of 8. See him on track going down into turn 4 as you look at the tracker up top left. Josh Berry stays on track. Myatt Snyder is out there. He just finished his qualifying lap. He's now 6th. Custer leading the way as we head toward 1 minute to go. Final round of qualifying.
Watching Jordan Taylor's car go through there, raising up the front tires, I would say that's a big adjustment from a sports car background.
Oh, it's got to be so hard to get used to that for sure.
Taylor ran a 15:34 on his first lap. Has him 9th right now. We'll see if he can pick it up here. There's that alternate start-finish line. And he does, all the way up to 4th.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with that. The limited time he has in this kind of car.
I might be changing my race pick here pretty soon.
Josh Berry stays on track. He gets to 2nd.
Ooh, hear that chatter in the rear wheels getting into the corner.
Just trying to get a little bit too much right there.
Sheldon Creed is now quickest on his 2nd lap of round number 2. The final round of qualifying, a 14:11. For the driver at RCR.
And you got to wonder, did he mess up the first lap like we talked about? Because the one thing I noticed about his lap, whoa, hang on!
Oh, he didn't make it to the line.
I think bigger than not making it to the line is just celebrating the fact that he didn't hit something and damage the car. Chandler Smith, the only driver that we have not seen complete a lap in this final round of qualifying.
That's been when Myatt Snyder started in turn 10. He was trying to get it all, swap back and forth 2 or 3 times before he finally spun around.
Chandler Smith, 7th.
And of course, he's not out. We saw Sheldon Creed be able to do it on his 2nd lap. And that makes me wonder if you look at Cole Custer, like, does he wish now that he had went out and run 2 laps?
We've seen the red and black flag, so time has run out. And anybody that's got their lap started can come back.
A little drama in qualifying. See if he can pull this off in his next time out, his next lap around.
Well, we had it there at the end of Group B in round 1, right?
And he did go faster on his 2nd lap in round 1.
And that car looks really under control. And if as you listen there, they're saying that his lap is actually, he's already taken the checkered.
So he won't be able to come back. Didn't get it started in time. That would have been close. Sheldon Creed, how about it? Looking for his first career win. This is going to be his first career pole, making his 50th start in the Xfinity Series today. That's awesome.
This could be the boost that Sheldon Creed needs. His teammates won 3 races this year. I know that he's had a little bit more of a struggle since moving from the Craftsman Truck Series over to Xfinity, but it only takes 1 race, 1 win to get all that momentum shifted around.
Yeah, that top 10 at Austin and won a truck race on a road course at Daytona years ago. So he's a good little road racer. He's putting the time in. His emotions are always the same, though. You don't see too many highs or too many lows when you watch him.
He had a lot of rookie moments last year. Came to this race 59 points below the cut line, almost already in a must-win. They're in a comfortable spot above the cut, entering today looking for his first win, just like the driver who joins him on the front row, Cole Custer. Both drivers winless this season. A whole lot to go for this afternoon.
I would not have guessed Cole Custer to be winless at this point. Honestly, was one of my picks for a championship favorite. I think he needs a good run just as bad as Sheldon Creed does today.
Yeah, we got a couple of guys that did make the top 10 that we're going to have to keep our eye on. Parker Kligerman back in 14th, and Sammy Smith, who we talked about. You know, he's a rookie, but great road racer, going to start this race back in 16th.
Justin Allgaier, who was able to get the win last week, up inside the top 5 as he looks to go back-to-back and get his 4th win in his career on a road course. Here's what's coming up later today. The Xfinity race from Portland happens at 4:30. Race day gets going at 4. It's time, though, to go back to St. Louis. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series ready to race in the heartland. The Toyota 200 happens at 1:30. Right now, it's race day for the tailgaters. Watch and enjoy live on FS1.